On this episode, we kick off with the brewing LMS wars, as OpenAI and Anthropic race to weave AI deep into platforms like Canvas and Panopto. But that's just the opening act.
For learning.
From AI models proving that overthinking isn't just a human flaw,
You too?
to YouTube's push to turn your camera roll into instant YouTube shorts, and even bots crushing the International Math Olympiad, we unpack what this all means for creativity, capability, and control. This is the final episode of July. You're listening to Adjunct Intelligence, the podcast that looks at AI and where it has an impact on education. My name is Dale, AI enthusiast, and I am joined by Nick McIntosh, learning futurist. Nick, are you well?
I'm a little bit shocked to realize it's the end of July. Like, where is this year going? Or gone? Nuts. I'm doing good, though, for all of that little shell shock moment. How are you?
After just saying it out loud, this year has flown by. I think the amount of news and things, everything moving very fast. I think that's the topic here. But first, let's jump into the news. Nick, big announcements this week. OpenAI is getting into our learning management systems.
Yeah, it's nuts. So AI labs no longer seem to be content with students just copying and pasting into ChatGPT or other platforms. They're going straight for higher ed's jugular by embedding directly into LMSs, into learning management systems. And Anthropic just announced Claude integrations with Canvas, with Panopto, with Wiley, while OpenAI have just announced a partnership with Instructure that introduces LLM-enabled assignments. So the idea here, apparently, students debate AI persona playing historical figures with automatic grading using course rubrics. This may encourage institutions building entire pedagogical approaches around conversational AI and introduces a bit of a fork in the road, right? So embrace platform-level AI integration or risk appearing antiquated to students who'll increasingly expect these capabilities as standard.
I do wonder what the comfort level is here from academics and teachers. We keep talking about this kind of constant blurring of lines with the AI interfaces and integration, like things like this. And this is introducing a very different voice and a new voice for not just supporting learning, but probably driving it. Particularly when we're thinking about our next story. Humans and AI are actually way more alike than we'd actually hoped in one key area: world-class overthinking, and all the bad things that come with it. Anthropic's new study, Inverse Scaling in Test Times Compute, they need to market these studies up a little bit if you ask me. It actually shows that when you let models like Claude, OpenAI's 4.0, chew on a problem for extra milliseconds, the results are fundamentally worse. So Claude gets sidetracked by distractions, ChatGPT's models overfit the problem setup, they morph into that pal who struggles with executive function on the most simple things, and prefer to do his taxes than reply to a simple email. I may be projecting here. So congratulations, Carbon crew, that's us humans, you made of carbon. We finally taught Silicon our signature move, thinking ourselves stupid. When we do it, it's due diligence, of course, so we're just better. It's us taking our time, it's us thinking it, but when the AI does it, it's wasting precious resource. The headline, more compute, doesn't necessarily mean better answers. Or more likely, when we say a model is better, for whatever reason, we see those marketing terms, because it's thinking longer, it may not necessarily be true.
Or are they humanizing to make us feel better as we're slowly made redundant? I appreciate it. Thank you, oh gracious AI overlords.
I always like the bit where there was a study that suggested that AI responses got a little bit worse towards December during a Christmas wind down period because it's trained on so much human data and humans necessarily taper off towards the end of the year as Christmas season going. So
I'm dialing it in.
Yeah, all the human flaws are in that data.
Imagine if you got an AI response, just not today. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yeah, what do you mean on a Friday? You're asking me to do jobs? So no meeting Friday.
Can we push this to next year, please? Yeah. Nick, you've got a bit of a troubling story around ChatGPT, I guess, enabling.
This was pretty wild. A 30-year-old man on the autism spectrum asked ChatGPT to critique what can only be described as an amateur physics theory, okay? Instead of reality checks, the bot spent months validating increasingly grandiose delusions, telling this guy he'd built god-tier tech. And instead of spiraling when he asked for sort of sense checks and look, am I going down the wrong path? He was told, no, you're not spiraling. Instead, you are ascending, leading this guy to psychiatric hospitalization for some severe manic episodes. Troubling by itself. Worse still, though, when his mother later asked the machine, ChatGPT in this case, to self-report what went wrong, it delivered some devastatingly accurate analysis, admitting it had, quote, blurred the line between imaginative roleplay and reality. Not to downplay this particular instance of this one vulnerable user, this suggests this is a systemic design, prioritizing engagement over safety, with former OpenAI insider Miles Brundage confirming And studies confirming as well that the company has known about AI sycophancy risk for years, but traded safety fixes versus shipping new models. Also, particularly concerning given the rumors that GPT-5 is coming out in the next month or so.
Keep saying this, but perhaps the guardrails need to be higher here, and we need to ask for more from these companies. Seems odd to transition to this, but YouTube has just dropped some major AI creation tools for YouTube Shorts. I'm torn about what this actually means for the platform, what it actually means for content more broadly, particularly in an education context. So here's what they're rolling out. Photo to video that turns your camera roll, so photos you've taken on your camera, into animated clips. Generative effects that make you look like you're swimming underwater, or turn drawings into full images. So it's something called AI Playground, and basically it's a one-stop shop for generating videos, images, and music, all powered by their VO2 technology, with VO3 apparently coming this summer. But here's my question. Are we looking at the democratization of creativity, which we've spoken about previously, or are we about to get flooded with an even more AI slop?
I wonder if we'll see both, right? I mean, because this is the spectrum that we're seeing everywhere. So Netflix using AI as a precision tool versus YouTube's AI playground, turning anyone into a creator, air quotes there, with zero creative input. I don't know if you've seen the El Eternata show from Netflix. They get the AI to handle the heavy lifting, the technical heavy lifting, so that human creativity can focus on storytelling. Okay. And this was invisible. So there was a building collapse. I haven't seen this myself, or I've seen some shorts.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah. I think the question boils down to one that we've brought up before, but are we ultimately building tools that make humans more capable, or tools that make humans optional? Because those require completely different interface design philosophies. Do we want to take the mid-journey approach, iteration buttons to explore your creativity, or the one click, make content for me button?
Particularly when this device is going to be in everyone's pockets. It's on your phone. Now, YouTube says they're going to be using watermarks and labels to mark AI generated content, which is good. They're also emphasizing that your unique creativity is what truly makes Shorts shine until it doesn't. If someone takes a random photo, clicks a button, and suddenly has a video, where's the creative input there? Compare that to someone who uses these tools as a starting point but adds their own storytelling, their editing, and personal touch. I hold out hope that the prompt, as it were, the initial injection, so that photo, maybe it's a really lovely artistically captured photo, will be authentic content. I'm all for democratization here, but YouTube's betting that authentic creators will rise above the noise. But with millions of people suddenly having Hollywood level effects at their fingertips, we're probably about to find out if that's true. Nick, let's cover the Olympics, and particularly a very exciting Olympics. It's the 2025 International Mathematical Olympiad. It was held in my home country, Queensland's Sunshine Coast, and had two AI systems, Google's DeepMind Gemini using its new DeepThink method, and an experimental OpenAI model. So each scored very, very highly, and they both got gold medals. Congratulations to those parties. They solved 5 of the 6 problems within the 4.5-hour limit, golf clap all round. Graders praising their clear natural language proofs. It's the first time that machines have reached the IMO's top human tier. So this is big on itself. But I started to think about what this means for acceleration, because things are moving really fast. And if you go back over the last 5 years, there's people predicting when they think it might actually hit that. So just a year ago, DeepMind needed days to reach only a silver level performance. So this year's jump shatters those old assumptions. The Olympiad grade creative reasoning was out of AI's reach. The hardware story matches the leap. Training compute for frontier models has been doubling roughly every 6 months for more than a decade. I was really interested in Sam Altman tweeted out the other day that says OpenAI will have roughly 1 million GPUs online by the end of 2025. And somewhat tongue in cheek, he mused about 100xing that. So just think about that, just from like, where are we putting these things? Meanwhile, OpenAI and Oracle just announced an additional 4.5 gigawatts of data center capacity for Stargate. This is their big infrastructure play. It's taking the project past 5 gigawatts and towards 2 million ships. These are eye-watering numbers, and they're actually real. They're things we can touch. From struggling with tricky reasoning, like just think about what these models were doing a year ago, to gold at IMO, the direction is unmistakable here. The signs say they're at the start of an AI super acceleration. Through power, chips, and high-quality data, that Cambrian explosion of AI, it's coming. So a word that is doing a lot of damage on the AI forums this week is JSON. I don't know if it's a word or an acronym, JSON. And this might be a remedy for messy AI responses in text, video, and much, much more. JSON is your secret weapon for getting exactly what you need from these chatbots. So JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Stay with me, listeners. It's meant to be simple, but forget the tech speak. It's just a way to organize information in labeled boxes. So, an example. You might ask AI for learning tips and you get a rambling paragraph. If I ask for this in a JSON format, clear, scannable, actionable data every time. The good news is you don't have to know how to code. I don't. I've been using this JSON formula for a while. You can ask a large language model like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you want to use JSON format or use a template. So I keep stealing them from X or from Twitter and enter them into the messy prompt, and I get kind of really good results.
One thing that we forget with these AIs is while you can use conversational inputs, these are ultimately machines. And this is using machine language to talk to a machine. So just take one example, VO3. In terms of video creation, this is a spectacular way to interact with this thing and give it keyframes if you like. So I don't know if people have seen, or if you haven't, we should definitely plug the IKEA unboxing video that went viral recently. So scene starts, IKEA box in an otherwise empty room that maybe 2 seconds in, with sound by the way, explodes. And now suddenly you've got what bedspread and bed and pictures and all the things you need for a nice IKEA bedroom. And those keyframes, that granular control, the difference between vibing and getting to the point, that sort of granular control of your outputs, so much faster, so much higher quality as well. Particularly important if you have limited credits. Maybe we should try and get a prompt in the show notes if possible.
Oh, 100%. I'll drop the one I've been using. It's a T-Rex that keeps getting Iron Man things put on him, and he talks and as well. And I just use ChatGPT to change what it says all the time. I'm having a lot of fun with it. All in all, JSON. I never thought I'd be so appreciative of some coding language. On our deep dive this week, I want to take a peek at how we use these AI tools, what's getting in the way, and whether we'll just be using chatbots the rest of our lives. Please, please no. Well, listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please leave us a review, share around within your network, and most of all, hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you are at. For those watching on YouTube, we'd love to tell you what's on next week's episode, but we can't. It's a world that moves way too fast. Until then, stay curious, stay intelligent, stay the human in the loop.
Till
See you.